Welcome back to the Battle Royale Fantasy Football Showtime Spectacular. This episode, we take a look at the ins and outs of Week 2. But to kick things off, a new segment to the program we'd like to call Correspondence from the Audience, which is pretty much letters from fans, but we're going with the longer, more difficult to read and less attention-grabbing title, Correspondence from the Audience. Our first letter comes from Mel G. Dear Battle Royale, Fantasy Football League Showtime Spectacular. First off, let me just say how much I love your show. It's well written, fabulously entertaining, and has great, strong, attractive talent. There's just one problem. Not enough football. This is a fantasy football show, and not once have you mentioned the best ever popular cultural mix of fantasy and football created. Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. 1. It's about as much fantasy as Flash Gordon having a post-nuclear wet dream. 2. Everybody, and I mean everybody in the movie, is wearing football pads. And get this, no one is playing football, ever. So my theory is that every single character is constantly fantasizing about it throughout the whole movie. In the Thunderdome world, everybody is against everybody else because when civilization is crumbled, leaving you to wear soda can tabs as chainmail and hubcaps as underwear, who can you trust but yourself? Sure, it was cute with the eating Raoul in the last episode. I mean, I get it. Your use of the story about a couple drowning in a world of cheap, over-sexualized people turning to violence to make their dreams come true. It was dead-on fantasy football. But where were the feral children? Where were the cities of rust that you would only want to visit if you have something to barter? Where was the radiated water? The master? The blaster? So hear me out. Take a step into the future. Put on some pads. Strap on a fake mohawk made of 12-inch nails and chicken feathers. Turn up the Tina Turner and bring on the Thunderdome. Love, Mel G. P.S. Freedom! Strange. But for you, Mel, this episode is going to the dome. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. Kicking things off, Joseph McEwen tried to barter a win from the multiple scoregasms, but he had to learn who runs things in Bartertown.
Who run Bartertown? Who run Bartertown?
You know who.
Say.
Multiple scoregasm got the best total score from their wide receivers of any team this week with 49 points. McEwen's team put in a solid effort with an increase in point total compared to last week's 107-76 loss, but it was another loss for McEwen as a scoregasm scream out a 127-106 win. Moving the multiples into first place in the league. And it's been 2 cases of too close and no foam finger for Team Miley's foam finger. After some score corrections last week's slim win for the foam was turned into a loss, which left the team looking like a blind sumo saxophonist going into the game with the Sean Puffies.
A warrior, auntie.
With 24 points from wide receiver Julio Jones and 21 points from the Minnesota defense, It was like Miley was about to ask the Puffies where and how they wanted it.
You want foot and face?
But the second greatest total score by wide receivers on a single team this week came from the Sean Puffies. The wide receivers combined to score 43 points. After some score confusion for a second week for the Foam Fingers, what once was a win became the team's second loss. The Sean Puffies win 105-104. It's like the season is treating Miley like master and stripping away his blaster and dipping him into the pig pen.
No! Stop this! No! Oh!
Let's move on across the barren wasteland to the matchup of Far From Winning and Jay's team, where Jay's team put a giant mascot head on Far From Winning and sent him riding a horse backwards into the desert. Unfortunately, Far From Winning left quarterback Phillip Rivers on the bench, where he ranked 4th in the league in scoring with 29 points. That could haunt Far From Winning like a monkey on his back. Jay's running back, Marshawn Lynch, brought in 31 points, making it a hard climb for the Far-Offs, like a road warrior chasing after a truck on a hand cart. Jay's team kicks the Far From Winning into a vat of pig feces with a 118-72 win. Now, a quick rundown of the other games. Story time. Apocalypse.
It's Poxiclips, full of pain.
Leche Negro took a pig trough to the head for Pudge's team. They win 91-63. But Fumble treated the angry anchormen like a land whale, harpooning in a 98-76 win. And Buddy Revell and the Brass Knuckles finished off its clobbering time, even if they didn't think it was right. The Brass Knuckles win 99-83. Well, after this week's Thunderdome matches, 3 teams have walked out without a loss. Leche Negros, Bud Fumbles, and the multiple scoregasms.
And I wonder when we are ever gonna change.